Welcome to Mr. Foy's Easel. Today the topic is, for want of a better term, doodling. Well, some of you may recall one time in the early days of Mr. Foy's Easel, I talked about the uses or the benefits or values of cartooning, such as using cartoons on signs or in the school newspaper and so forth. But one of the uses of cartoons, or one of the benefits or whatever, is just fun. And I like to doodle. Let me explain what that is in case some of you might not know. It's any kind of activity that you do sort of absent-mindedly when you're at a meeting or watching TV. A lot of people just, do squiggly marks and so on. But liking to cartoon the way I did, I started drawing cartoon faces. That was my form of doodling, and I have done this, and I still do it at coffee break and on other occasions, or just sitting around the house. I doodle on napkins, styrofoam coffee cups, or whatever's available. So after all that less than valuable information, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some cartoon characters, just as if I were doodling and not looking to create any particular kind of character. Let's do this. Let's start with the top of the head and the various kinds of hair that I might want on a cartoon character's head. Well, let's start with none. So we've got a beginning of a cartoon character with a bald head. And then we follow up with the eyes and the eyebrows. On this one, I think we'll go with wide open and arched eyebrows to go with them. Now, among the noses, I've got some notes here. One of the words is huge. Well, everything's relative, but here we've got a huge nosed character. The kind of mouth do we want on this character? Well, let's just say the simple word grin. Let's give him a broad, beaming grin. And along the way, we'll put eyes on him. And then we have several choices of chins. This one, I'm just going to make a rounded chin like that, and I'll add some little crinkles on his eyes, and that's character number one. Okay, let's move on here. And in terms of the next character's hair, instead of none, let's say sparse. In other words, not that much. Then to a different kind of eyes. Well, let's say angry eyes, which I can achieve by putting his eyebrows down like that. And since we had a huge nose on this one, let's just go with a tiny nose on the neighbor here. And then the mouth, let's make his mouth down turn. That's one of the terms I've got lined up for you. Go ahead and put the ears on. And for the chin, this time we're going to sort of cover it up with whiskers. So a rather angry looking guy indeed. Well, let's continue on to the right here. Still going with sparse, but a little different from this one. Got his hair parted right in the middle. He only has 6 of them. And then the eyes on character number 3. Well, let's say sleepy or bored. It could be either one so far. And put his eyebrows on. And then the nose I have for this one, I believe, we'll call it crooked. Kind of looks like he was in a boxing match and didn't come out well. Then we put some ears on, and the mouth we want on this guy is wide open. Well, I guess he is sleepy. And then we'll put a kind of a sharp chin and then a skinny neck. Well, let's take a short break, and when we get back, we'll do some more character creation, a form of doodling, in my opinion.
Home security is now available through Conway Corp. It's an advanced solution backed by people you know and trust. Customize your system with motion detectors, sensors, light controls, and more, all managed from your wireless touchscreen or mobile phone. It's an easy way to protect the things that matter and the ones who matter most. It's safety for you, powered by Conway Corp.
Okay, we're back, still working on these characters. Let's have a character with shaggy or unkempt hair. And if you notice, there's no need to make precise guidelines, because this is a fellow who lost his comb or just doesn't care. So that's the top of his head. And well, let's give him sad eyes, and I'll show you what I mean. The eyebrows are like that, you see. He really looks like he's down on his luck. And his nose is just going to be kind of long like that. And his mouth, well, it's going to be kind of crooked like that. And put his ears on there. He got a kind of a rounded chin like the first guy, but he's kind of got some whiskers scattered about, especially on his chin. And the sad eyes, sometimes I'll kind of work on the eyes and maybe put some wrinkles on his brow. Now the next one, the kind of hair is quite different from any of the previous ones. It's like this. We're going to have a female character, and her ears don't show, but let's give her sleepy eyes, sort of, or maybe not asleep, but just kind of in a pensive mood. That means thinking about something. And give her a small, fairly small nose. And a sharp chin. And a little lacy looking collar. Sometimes when I'm working on characters, I like to take a red crayon and apply it lightly to make them look a little bit more, well, I don't know what the word there is. They don't look, except for the lady, they don't look like they're a member of the human race, not entirely anyway. And sometimes mixing in a different color with the red is helpful. Like this is this crayon here is labeled apricot. What it does is gives a little bit of a sort of a yellowish or orange application. You can tell more about it when I show you this is too yellowish, so apply the red hue. And he looks like a guy that would sunburn rather easily. Kind of reminds me of one of the seven dwarfs, but I don't know why. Okay, let's give our lady here some sort of a blonde hair, or apricot if you prefer. Let's go on and do another character or two. Sometimes when I start out with something on the head rather than just the hair, like a kind of a floppy hat that's kind of not in very good shape. It's kind of torn in places. In this case, the eyes are going to be covered over by a pair of glasses. And you can see some of the hair along the side of his head. And his nose is going to be sharp. Looks like it could be a lethal weapon. And instead of having whiskers, we're going to have, or instead of showing his mouth, we're going to have a mustache that sort of covers it up for the most part. And then we're going to have just a kind of a ordinary chin with a little bit of a second chin. If we want to, we can just leave the blank space here and here, but I prefer to go ahead and show the eyes behind the glasses. And give him a blue hat. And, well, we won't have time to give this guy much of a happy glow on his face, but because our time is running out, I'll say so long, and I hope you enjoy doodling, and try cartooning. It doesn't have to be like this, but you can find a lot of things to draw while you're just sitting there.
There's fast. Then there's 1 gig fast. Stream, play, shop, and chat 20 times faster than average broadband with new 1 gig internet, powered by Conway Corp.